Okay, so this is a re-recording of the last video that I made because the sound quality wasn't very good, and I think it was a bit too long. So I'm going to try to make this one a bit shorter. Okay, so this is the Safe browser. This is a part of the Safe network. The Safe network is a decentralized network, so it's similar to the existing internet, only it doesn't use centralized servers. It focuses on security and privacy. It has a built-in currency called SafeCoin. SafeCoin, in my opinion, is a vast improvement on blockchain-based cryptocurrencies because you don't have to download this constantly expanding ledger, and for that reason and other reasons, it is more scalable. Now the Safe network hasn't been officially released yet, but hopefully it'll be released in the near future. Anyway, I'm just going to run you through the basics of this application. Okay. So Devolution, it's designed to primarily build communities and give them more political independence. Okay. So we have various different sections which I'll run you through. I've got a legal section, a voting section. We've got a cryptocurrency wallet, which I might leave out if I'm going to be using SafeCoin. A section for land, housing, a section for funding public services and setting up public services, healthcare section, education section, a section for business and employment, a casino, a news section. We have the Safe search, which is I'm not building the Safe search engine or anything like that, but it's this toolbar here where you can see the author and you can subscribe or connect. You can like, dislike, flag, comment on anything. You can view the score of the page and you can donate SafeCoin and so on and so forth. Okay, so this would need to be something built into the Safe browser. Okay, so I'll speak about some of the basic principles of the application. So there's three ways that money goes into the application. The first is from the casino, the second is through advertising revenue, and the third is through an unofficial land value tax. So any money that goes into the application gets redistributed in the form of social credits. Okay. Now, the application, as I mentioned at the start, is designed for communities, for building communities. And so what would happen is that each community would basically clone the application, and whoever clones the application will have certain access rights. They can install updates, they can edit the code and things like this. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this yet because some parts of the application will be international. So the social media stuff will be international. But some parts of the application will be geared more towards national, and some will be geared towards the local communities. It depends on the feature, okay? But I'm not going to go into that right now because I'm trying to make this video as short as possible. Okay, so I'll give you an example of how it might be used. Okay, so we've got these social credits. We've got some health credits and some education credits, and we've got SafeCoin. You'll be able to select your default currency in the settings. Okay, so we'll start off. So here we've got some elected officials. You can apply here. So I'm going to apply for the position of, let's say, IT manager. Okay, you add your SafeCoin public key here. Okay, and there we go. We've got an IT manager, and you can view the profile. You can look at the video before you elect them, so they'll make a video about themselves. So we've already got some elected officials set up. Okay, and so Jane hasn't been elected for IT manager yet, but okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and log in as a different user. Let's log in as Bob. Okay, so now we're logged in as Bob. We're going to go to this voting section, and then we can vote. And what happens when an official gets elected? A public service is automatically created, so I can then go to land and housing, and I can donate some social credits to land and housing. Okay, and so the way that this works, so Bob, who's been elected for land and housing, will use this money to buy land. Okay, they'll break this land up into sections. They'll go to the land section and they will upload these plots or sections. We will also install these. He will also install some housing modules. Okay, and so these housing modules are built using aluminium profile technology. They're freestanding flat pack modular units. So I'll just show you the technology. So these images come from Minitech Framing. There are suppliers, all over the place. It's pretty easy to find. And I've designed these modules using SketchUp, and they'll be put together similar to Lego. So it would turn up, in a van or a lorry or something like that, and they throw the base down. The corners, you have these corner panels which slot in, and then the roof slots on top, and then you fasten it up using an Allen key. Okay, and you'll also be able to purchase various accessories. Okay, so once we have these plots set up and we've got housing modules on them, and we've installed a shower block and things like this, we can then rent those sections out to the community. So they're paying what is effectively a land value tax back to the community. It goes back into the application and redistributed in the form of social credits. And then you can use those social credits to push back into land and housing to build more communities, to get more tax revenue coming in. And so it can very quickly spread, you see. And one of the reasons is because in this country we have a huge concentration of land ownership, and so I think this is a good way to solve that problem. Okay, so we have these health credits. So I'm going to top up some health credits. So let's put some 300. No, that's healthcare, because you can have a healthcare public service, or alternatively you can top up your health credits, and these health credits act as a form of a health insurance, you see. So we're going to top up the health credits. So there we go, we've got 300 health credits. We can then go to the healthcare section, go to the healthcare advisor, and then you can search for private service providers, and then via this application you can pay for a service using your health credits, which will be redeemed for, at this current point in time, SafeCoin. Now, of course, SafeCoin doesn't actually exist yet because the network hasn't been officially released, but this is just for demonstration purposes. A lot of sections on this application, they are just, I've done some of the basic back-end work, so it uses the Safe Network API, but there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. There's various sort of bugs here and there. You'll see we've hit this section here, so you can enter some details, add a category. I have a slight bug here. Sometimes what I need to do is refresh the page. Sometimes it doesn't allow me to take that. Okay, so we're just going to try that again. So there we go. Okay, so you can post, you can add a comment, and you can edit posts, edit, and you can also delete. Okay, so the next section then is the education section. So we're going to go back to public services. We're going to top up some education credits. So you have a max threshold. There'll be a maximum limit as to how many credits you can top up. So let's stick 300 in there. And so then you go to the education section, and you have a course builder. You've got a course search where you can read reviews about the course, set the course, and this is all just a demo. There'll be more than 4 sections. There'll be maybe 20 sections. It needs to be deterministic, of course, in order for the qualifications to be recognized. And then what you do is you get to the end of the course, and you've got to get 100% pass rate, and then you'd leave some feedback about the course. And then what this will do, this will transfer credits from your education credits into SafeCoin, so you can redeem it's sort of like a tax rebate. So here we go. That's been gone into SafeCoin. There's a few bugs here and there, but you get the idea. And then you can then donate some social credits to the author. Providing the course has a certain score. If it has a score of 0, you won't be able to redeem your education credits or donate social credits to the author. And then the course builder is basically just what builds the courses. So you'd fill out some basic information, a title, video URL, and some multiple choice questions. And the videos will be about 3 or 4 minutes in length. Okay. So one thing I haven't spoken about yet is how money goes into the application initially. So you've got a lottery here. You can sort of select a few lucky dips and things like this. And you've got a slot machine here. This is all under construction, and a lot of work needs to be done on this. But just to give you an example, I'm going to play the slot machine. There you go. So social credits. So that money that's gone into it has been redistributed to all users. Okay. And you can just cheat. This is for the sake of demonstration. There we go. Right. So that's money that goes into the application, and that's there's no adverts on it here yet, but like I said, the advertising revenue goes back into social credits and gets redistributed. So we've got the business and employment section. I won't go through all of these different sections. One thing about the education section I'll just quickly mention as well is that when you sit a course and pass a course, it goes straight into your qualifications, and then using this section here, employers can then search based on your qualifications, and you can apply for jobs using the job search feature. You can register a business, and that automatically sets up a business profile, customer reviews, employee reviews, and things like this. You will also be able to register with a trade union, and the way that this works, it's a membership system. So you register with a trade union, you're then going to have to pay, say, for example, the equivalent of £10 a month. You can then elect and unelect the trade union leaders. The trade union leaders then go to the company executives, and they can then invest that money into the company, and they can have certain demands. So they could say, like, if you're willing to meet these demands, we have this amount of money which we will invest, that we will, buy this amount of shares in your company. And so what happens is over time, what happens is, that the employees become sort of major shareholders in the company. Okay. So we also have this. So going back to the business and employment section, then we've got a marketing section. So if you go to here, if you went here to the settings, settings, and you can say I want to receive direct marketing messages. You've got various other settings in here, but I won't go through them in a moment. But say I want to receive direct marketing email messages, and then what you can do, then you'll start to receive these surveys. And what you do is you fill out a bunch of surveys. Businesses can then come along and they can do a search. So they say, I want to find, everyone within a certain radius that, likes this or likes that, and then that will then retrieve some results. So it might say, okay, we found 1,000 people that match your search criteria. They then have to pay some money. It'll give them a quote. They pay the money, and that money gets directed to the people who receive the direct marketing message. So basically, once you've filled out enough surveys, a small amount of money will start to trickle in. So it's another incentive to use the application. So we've got this news section. As I mentioned, this is based on this toolbar here. So we can like and dislike and flag content and comment on things and various other things like that. And so you can have a place on the application where all news articles that have a certain score can be displayed in the news section. This is optional, but okay, we have a plugin. So each individual user will be installing their own plugins, but it will have to come from a trusted source. You'll receive updates as well, but then the updates will be done via the IT administrator who will be elected. Okay, so whoever clones the website initially will become the IT administrator, and they will be responsible for managing updates. And of course, various things, So all of this, most of these features haven't been done. The only things that have been done, the only things that use the actual Safe API is, the sort of social media stuff, the the voting, of course, that uses the Safe API, the public services, the Safe Coin, and various things like this, the casino. But all of the other features, they haven't been done yet. Okay, so another thing I need to point out is that you have this voting weight. Okay, so this acts as a verification system. What you don't want is people logging in and out of different applications and voting on stuff. There has to be, you have to know that people have spent some time on the platform and have contributed in some way. So you've got a voting weight based on your age, education score, your social rating, and the number of connections. So basically you need certain number of friends. You'll need a certain social rating. This is your social rating here, based on how you interact with people on the platform. Education score, so you'll need to go to the education section, and you'd need to complete a number of courses. And the age. I mean, the age might not necessarily be needed, but it's just a verification process to ensure that, in order to vote, in order to, use certain parts of the application, you need to be, we need to know that you've spent some time on the application and contributed something. Okay. Okay, so I think that is all I need to speak to for now. That's about 16 minutes long, so it's a bit shorter than the last one. Okay, yeah, thanks for watching.